Alright, now we're doing 6Q error correction number 1 Hamming code. This is by Z. Lukey, and 95% of people like it. For some background information, the Hamming code is used to correct errors, so-called bit flips, in data transmissions. Later in the description follows a detailed explanation of how it works. In this kata, we will implement the Hamming code with bit length 3. This has some advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are it's simple to implement compared to other versions of Hamming code. We can correct more mistakes, but for the disadvantage, the size of the input triples. Alright, so with this one, our first task is to encode the function. We're going to implement the encoded function, implement the encode function using the following steps. And then we're just going to do these steps to make hey look like this right here. Alright? So for this, we're going to turn it into concise syntax. Const encode equals text. And we're just going to do this right here. And then we'll say console.log so that it's real easy to test while we go. And then function down here, const decode equals bits. And just like we did up there, we're going to say this with a console.log like that. Alright, so first thing with this text thing is we're going to have to convert every letter of the text to ASCII value, right? So for that we're going to use, well, let's just get into it. We're going to say text dot map, pardon me. Then we're going to have element, and then e dot, charcode at. Let's see what happens. Test it out. Doesn't work because this needs to be in spread syntax. Alright, we need to make that into an array. Nope. Oh yeah, don't forget the little parentheses. Test that out. And there we go. Now we've got it. So cut that out. We're turning text into this so we can turn text into this. Alright, now that we've got that done, we're going to need to turn these, what else do we need to do? Convert ACSI values to 8-bit binary. So we need to turn these into binary, and we're going to use the toString method, toString, and put the radix of 2 in there. Now let's test it out. Alright, looks good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, we need 8 bits here instead of 7. So we're going to do a pad start, pad start, so that we can pad it with zeros. So we're going to say 8, and anything that's not in there, we're going to throw a 0 in there. So let's test it out again. Now we've got the 8 digits right there. Alright. So we've got 8-bit binary, now we've got to triple every bit. So let's wrap this whole thing up in some spread syntax. Test it again. Looking like we want it, and let's repeat it all. Dot repeat. Oh no, dot map. Let's bring this down. Dot map. We're going to say EL, since we're in the middle of the map right here, we can't do E. So EL dot repeat 3 times. Alright, hopefully we'll get 3s out of this. Test it out. There we go. Now we just got to join it here and join it here. Alright, so we're going to say dot join. Test it out. Yep. And then outside of this, dot join. Test it out. And it looks like that. So this one's good. Alright, so now let's get rid of these tests down here, the encode tests, so we can easily see these decode tests. So we're going to come over here, take out these tests, And now we've got just the decode tests. So we're going to come down here to the decode function and check if any errors happen and correct them. Errors will be only bit flips and not a loss of bits. All right. This can happen and will happen. This cannot happen. All right. So it's got to be 3, and this it has to have 3 digits. All right. Note the length of the input is also always divisible by 24, so we can convert it to an ASCII value. Right. So first thing we're going to do is split the input into groups of 3 characters. So we come down here, say bits. Let's see what bits looks like to start off with. Probably just like this. Sure does. So let's split it into chunks of 3. So bits.match, and we're going to do some regex with a global flag on it, and we're going to match everything three. So it's going to cut 3, 3, 3 through 3 all the way down. Let's see if it does. All right, cuts it up real nice. All right, now we can see that these ones need to be changed. These ones need to be changed. Anything with not 3 in a row needs to be changed, right? So for that, we're going to check if the error occurs. That's what we're doing right now. Replace each group with the character that occurs most often. So 0, 1, 0 needs to be 0, 1, 1, 0 needs to be 1, etc. So like this one needs to be 0, this one needs to be 0, this one needs to be 1, whatnot. So let's just do a utility map right now, just so we can so I can show you what can happen when we sort it out. So dot map. Now let's do an E. And let's do E.sort like that. And test it out. It doesn't work because spread syntax. Let's do E.sort. Alright, and now we can see that no matter what, either if it's 2 zeros, the 1 goes to the right, and if it's 2 1s, where's the 2 1s? Where it's 2 1s, the 0 goes to, no matter what, the 0 is going to go to the right. So that being said, everything in index 1 is going to be the correct thing. So down here, we're going to change this map, since we know that in theory, or in actuality, we're going to say dot reduce. So we're going to reduce so that we can make a string with all these at sort index 1. So we're going to say reduce, and then in here we're going to say P for previous, C for current, and then we're also going to have an initial value of a string, because if we don't do the string, it won't throw the zeros, the leading zeros in. So now that we got this going on, we're going to say previous plus current dot sort at 1. And of course, we need to throw this in spread syntax before we even think about pushing test. All right, test it out. All right, now we've got this string, so we're going to do another match. We're going to match it by 8 this time. Dot match regex with a global flag, period 8. All right, let's test that out. And there we go. That looks good. So let's change these into what is it called? Letters. So let's do a map so we can get every one of these into its own little thing. We're going to hit each one of these, I should say. So we're going to say string dot from char code, and then we're going to do a parse int so we can change these back into regular numbers. So parse int, and for the radix we're going to have, for the string we're going to have E, and for the radix we're going to have 2. Let's test this out and see what it looks like. Haha, look at that. All right, let's finish this up so we can go on the next one by saying .join. And let's test it out. That looks like a winner right there to me. All right, let's get rid of all these console.logs. All right, test it out again. Looks good, and attempt it. Haha, there we go. Let's get out of here. Submit it. All right, and these people do a lot of different things. Everybody does something different. All right, let's go to mine. Just me on here. Very much like it. Best practice in my opinion, and we'll see you next time.